Russia's main International Economic Forum in St. Petersburg used to be designed to attract foreign capital to Russia, but Western sanctions have led many international investors to stay away. And Western journalists used to attend the forum, but now they're almost all banned. President Putin on Friday used the gathering to announce the first batch of nuclear weapons has been deployed to neighboring Belarus.
Это произошло. Первые ядерные заряды доставлены на территорию Беларуси. Но только первые. У нас это первая часть. Но до конца лета, до конца года мы эту работу выполним целиком и полностью.
President Putin also boasted of having more nuclear weapons than NATO and rejected the idea of rejoining negotiations on reducing both of their nuclear arsenals. Analysts fear that could trigger a new nuclear arms race and increase the risk of a nuclear conflict.
Okay, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Quadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutation, you came out that push this word in truth and in sincerity. Hey, we see what's coming down the pipe. We see how this war in Ukraine is escalating to the point whereas now Vladimir Putin put nuclear weapons in Belarus, you know, which is one of his main allies, which is on border with Poland. Belarus is on a border, shares the border with Poland. Poland is a part of NATO. So we see where this is going. We see exactly where this is going. And now the United States is voicing about sending F-16 fighter jets, nuclear capable F-15 fighter jets over to Ukraine. Who's gonna pilot them jets? Because the Ukrainian army doesn't have the capabilities. Their Air Force doesn't have the capability to fly them jets. So that means it's going to be either NATO pilots or United States pilots, which is the United States and NATO being not as a proxy war with Russia, but in a full-scale war with Russia, which is beautiful. Because we see what's coming down the pipe, man. We see it clearly. It's all prophecy. And these devils are too proud to even consider that you messing with a nuclear power. So what we're going to do is we're going to back off and try to bring some negotiations to the table to quell this conflict. But the American Edomites don't want that. The American Edomites want the resources that come with being in Ukraine. Because Ukraine is rich in resources. So we already know what this is about. The resources that come forth out of Ukraine. They don't want that in the hands of the Russians. They don't want Vladimir Putin in control of the resources of Ukraine. These devils, they're greedy and they go by any means, even destroying themselves to maintain that status quo of them being financially dominant over all the countries of the earth. Talking about the United States government, because they have the world reserve currency, which ain't backed by shit. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. What that day is? The day of thermonuclear destruction and concentrated fire from them chariots when Yahweh shall crack them skies. So it reads, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, all these Edomites, they proud as hell, man. From the international bankers, the ruling class, to the lower class that don't have shit, they proud as hell too. Right along with 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, also men that know that they're Israelites that's in this truth, they proud as hell too. It says, and all the proud and all that do wickedly, because almost that could commit wickedness is you 2/3 of you is Israel, the 2/3 of you Israelites, man. And the men that know that you're a part of this truth that chose to indulge yourselves in committing iniquity, man, which is sin upon sin. Not teaching the words of the Most High correctly, leading the people of the Lord astray, saying that you can have sex on the Sabbath. We're under the new covenant. Just to name a few, the few things that's coming out their mouth that's nothing but pure madness, man. It says, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall neither leave them root, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Talking about the international bankers. They're not going to be able to build these cities up no more. It's not going to be no nephew left that coming out of the rubble of the ashes. It's not going to be no nephew, no grandson, none of that, man. You're all going to be fucking stubble. It says, but unto you that fear my name, talking about the elect, shall slack. Let me read that again, because I'm butchering it. Let me slow down. It says, Malachi chapter 4, verse 2, but unto you that fear my name, talking about the elect, shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, talking about Yahweh Shah. And ye shall go forth and grow up as cobs of the store, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of thy feet, and that in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb, for all Israel with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah, and that happened, Abba Bivens, in the 60s, late 60s. It says, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, and he shall turn the hearts, which are the minds of the fathers, to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And that curse that the Lord's going to smite the earth with is thermonuclear destruction and concentrated fire from them chariots. So Vladimir Putin putting nuclear weapons in Belarus, which is on the border of Poland, is only setting the stage for a bigger conflict. Because you got, like I stated earlier, you got NATO and the United States sending Germany is a part of NATO, sending Leopard tanks, and they all being destroyed. You have the United States government sending Abrams tanks, and now they want to send F-16 fighter jets over to Ukraine, which is going to escalate this war even more. And that's what's taking place, man. And that's what the Most High want. This is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man there, where the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. The voice of the Lord is this prophets out there teaching his truth, warning his people of the said destruction, because before the Lord destroys a kingdom or empire, he sends his prophets to warn his people to get right before that great day of destruction come. But only the elect is going to get it on this go around. The 2/3 are going to perish right along with Esau and the rest of the nations. So it reads, it says, the mighty men shall cry their bitterly. The mighty men of who? Esau's army. And the rest of these nations, Moab, Ammon, Ham, and all the rest of these nations that join themselves together to fight against Yahweh Shah and the angels, which is spoken about in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, the first verse on down. It says, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation. What's going to bring wasteness and desolation? Concentrated fire from them chariots and the nuclear, hypersonic, and supersonic missiles that's going to be shot off from the ends of the earth. Hey, man, this is deadly serious, and these prophecies will come to pass. This place is going to rock to and fro like a drunkard, which is spoken about And Isaiah the 24th chapter, the 19th verse on down. These prophecies are going to come to pass, man. So keep taking this as a joke. Keep taking it like these prophecies lightly. Talking about the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans out there. Mainly you women. Because you women are unbelievers. You don't really believe anything. I'm not talking about the sisters that listen. I'm talking about the 2/3 of the sisters out there. You can't even call them sisters. The 2/3 of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, men and women. It says, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, not having a clue what's going on. The 2/3 not having a clue what's going on, blindly, not having this truth, which is spoken about in Isaiah 6 and 9. The 2/3 is going to be like blind men, having no clue what's going on, and the rest of these nations as well. It says, and I will bring distress upon, this is Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 17, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And the only ones that can sin is you Israelites, man. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. Verse 18. This is referring to the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that sold out and took that bag, that sold out and bowed down to the idols of Esau. And this is also talking about, first and foremost, the international bankers, started with the Rothschilds on down to the Oppenheimers and the Gators and the DuPonts and the rest of the 13 families of Esau. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. That speedy riddance is thermonuclear destruction and concentrated fire from them chariots, man. You understand what's going on. That's how the Lord's going to make a speedy riddance of all that dwell in the land. Thermonuclear destruction and concentrated fire from them chariots when Yahushua cracked them skies. So, soon, all hell's about to break loose. And soon, missiles are going to be shot up from one end of the earth to the next. Because this tension is only escalating, and it's going to escalate to thermonuclear destruction. You have the Israeli government talking about invading Iran because Iran has test-fired a supersonic missile. Then you have tensions with China and America. Tensions with China and America over Taiwan. So things is escalating, man. Things is escalating, and the Lord is mustering up the host of the battle. You see what's going on in the Middle East? So things is getting critical, and I'm loving it. And I'm quite sure the rest of the men of Great Millstone, starting with the apostles on down, are loving what's going on right now, because prophecies are coming to pass. Last scripture before I close it out. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth from the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. Because these nuclear missiles is going to dry up these oceans, these seas, as well as burning the elements and the infrastructure of everything that's in their way. Right along with them chariots, with that concentrated fire. It says, verse 13, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. Whose right hand? Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shah's right hand? That bow is them nuclear silos. It says, his arrows, which are the nuclear missiles, whether they hypersonic, supersonic, or regular ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, because they're going to be laser guided and through Esau's technology that the Lord has given them, and spiritually guided by Yahweh, while Yahweh shot. When they begin to be shot in the ends of the world, behold, the plagues are set. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12 goes into the plagues, and should not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and should not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth should not return again. Thermal, nuclear destruction, and concentrated fire from them chariots. When Yahweh shall crack them skies, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance. Once the missiles are shot off, there's no turning back. Once the missiles are shot off, that's it. That's a little quick lesson. Going into missiles being put on the border of Poland by Vladimir Putin. And this was escalating. So I thought I'd just bring out a few scriptures. And Abba Ratazayu Akim was edified. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.